Well, good afternoon. I am Christine Glein, the Chief Executive Officer at the Game Changing Impact Group, otherwise known as the Soul Intelligence Coach. And today I'm coming to you live from the beautiful Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania. I had the opportunity to come up and get out of the heat that's already happening in Florida and come up to the Poconos with my mom and get her settled in. She's my favorite snowbird, and so she is enjoying the cooler weather up here in the Poconos for the summer. And if you didn't know, that's actually where I grew up. I finished high school at Pocono Mountain High School. Anybody ever hear that? I'm definitely in the heart of the Poconos today. What I'm coming to you live about today is about the dance of the divine feminine. What does that bring up for you? Um, well, for me, I used to think that stepping into your feminine energy meant that you were weak. I know it pains me to say that right now, and it's hard for me to admit it. But I grew up in a very masculine work structure, right? A very patriarchal society, as most of us did. And that taught me that emotions and femininity had no place in the workplace, right? There's no crying in baseball or in corporate America. And I do remember back in college, I tended bar during the summer here in the Pocono Mountains, and I felt the need to carry 2 cases of beer up 3 flights of stairs by myself just to prove I could do what a man could do. Had that equal pay for equal work mentality. Anybody ever do something like that? I would love to hear about it. Put it in the comments. And although right now we're hearing that there is a rise of the divine feminine, I'm really more about balance, having healthy masculine and feminine energy. The divine masculine is supposed to create this container, this structure, so that the divine feminine can create and swirl within that. And I think we need to kick toxic masculine and toxic feminine to the curb. I know you truly need both to feel whole and balanced in your work and in your life. Well, I know around the 1990s, it became cachet to really focus on emotional intelligence. And many organizations started talking about the importance of communication and not just what you say, but how you say it having an impact. As a matter of fact, one of my all-time favorite quotes, and I use it all the time, is one by Maya Angelou that really hits this point home. It's so poignant for me. I actually have a picture of it in my office. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So while we might be more conscious about how we say things, suppressing the emotions in the workplace is still a very common practice. We're told to suck it up. There's no crying in the boardroom, right? Let alone in the restroom, hiding, right? And the day I realized I had been suppressing my own feminine side for far too long came about in the form of a cervical cancer scare. Yeah, I've actually never really talked about this. In 2018, I had a biopsy done in my doctor's office, and those results showed that I had abnormal cell growth on my cervix and that I would have to go into the hospital and have a conical biopsy done. Talk about a wake up call, right? So, in between the time of my doctor's office visit and my hospital procedure, I got to work on myself. I went within. I meditated. I prayed. I went to see all kinds of energy workers and healers. I was like, I got to get this thing fixed and get this going, get this out of me. And although I really wasn't sure at the time, what it meant to embrace my feminine side, I went with it. People told me I needed to move. If you know about the 7 energy centers in your body, the first one is your root at the base of your spine, and the second one is your sacral chakra. That's where all of our sensual, sexual organs are, and that's where we birth things into the world, right? That uterine area. So I was told to dance, move my body, embrace my feminine side, listen to high vibe music, and let my emotions out in healthy ways, and trust that it would be healed. I needed to envision all my cells as healthy and vibrating in alignment, and know in my heart that it was stuck energy that needed to get my attention and that it did its job. So I went through with the biopsy in the hospital and then had my visit with my doctor. And the results of the biopsy truly stumped my doctor. She couldn't believe it. She said that she must have cut enough out of the bad cells. Yeah, that was it, right? Well, regardless, whether it was the work that I was putting in, all of the envisioning, all of the embodying, all of the embracing the divine feminine, or whether it was together, we worked on this mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. So together we cured the cancer. Unfortunately for me, it's gone and it stayed gone. And that was when I truly started to recognize the power of soul intelligence, tapping into that inner knowing, right? That part of you that's always in alignment with the best version of yourself, your highest self, right? The aspect of you that knows it's a part of something bigger than oneself. When you step into your soul intelligence fully, you are aligned with your mission, your vision, your values, your purpose. There is truly nothing you can't do. It's absolutely pure magic. And I talk to you a lot about the power of soul intelligence. And so I wanted to give you a real life example on how the power of soul intelligence really shifted something for me that had manifested in the physical. And that's how it was so important for me to understand why I needed balance of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And some of you know that my husband has also battled prostate cancer. Think about where that is, right? That is also the male's power center. And there were very strong reasons for why that affected him. We had a business that didn't go the way we thought it would go. We had a client who owed us $250,000 who didn't pay, which put us in a position where we had to sell that business. And it was that and him stuffing his emotions down that really manifested that prostate cancer. Now, I'm happy to say that things are going in the right direction. And he's been able to address his physical issues, his mental, emotional, and spiritual stuff. And of course, he has me and the power of soul intelligence to help him shift things as well. But he also worked on things physically. So not only did he have his prostate removed, he had radiation, and his PSA kept going up. It kept rising. So we then had to look at what can we do internally to change his internal body chemistry. So what we did is we leveraged the relationship that we had with an incredible nutritional products company called Nutritional Frontiers. I'm really excited to be a part of that company as their chief growth officer. I help them with all kinds of things related to performance and professional development, and I absolutely love that work. And because of my relationship with them, we found out that there were two products that we could use. And one of the doctors affiliated with the group suggested that my husband do a power cleanse shake and greens, these power proline greens every day for 6 weeks. And then let's retest his PSA. After 6 weeks, his PSA finally went down from 0.2 to 0.1. And that's a marker that lets you know whether you're predisposed to potentially having cancer. So super, super grateful. So what am I sharing with you? It is your body, it is your mind, it is your soul. It's physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually important to not stuff our emotions down, right? To recognize the power of both the divine masculine and the divine feminine containers and be able to embrace them within yourselves. What do I mean by that? Okay. It's recognizing we all have feminine and masculine energy within us. As a matter of fact, many of you know, I co hosted a retreat in Sedona recently with two other incredible coaches, two of my faves in the whole wide world, Miss Jan Hoth, known for joy, and Miss Danielle Margrath, known to be the goddess of prosperity. And the three of us worked on or had this amazing retreat where we worked on all of our specialties, being soul fed and soul led, and joy led and joy fed, and wealthy, prosperous, and enjoying being the goddesses that we are. And part of my activity was to get us to actually embrace our own divine masculine and divine feminine within ourselves and really marry that spirit. So if you think about the DNA strands, how it kind of winds together, that's how I envision the dance of the divine masculine, divine feminine, and really marrying those spirits within ourselves. So if you have not taken marriage vows within yourself, it might be time. If you want to learn a little bit more about how I coach, who I coach, I am really excited. I've got some one on one mentorship spots left. I've got 2 left if you're interested in learning more about a one on one experience with me. And I've also got a container called the CEO Accelerator. It's a group program that I'm going to be starting this summer to get everybody up and moving and receiving some of this great work that I do. And I am looking to start a mastermind for some of my incredible clients that have been clamoring for it. And I'm going to do that later in the fall. And it's called the Elevated Executive Experience. So if you want to get on the wait list for that, you want to talk to me about a one-on-one opportunity or a group opportunity with me, let me know. I also have a couple people who are begging me to actually teach the soul intelligence method. So if that's you and you want to learn about that, you can certainly send me a direct message. I hope you have an incredible rest of your week, and I will look forward to speaking to you again next week right here in Soul Led Leadership.